Bitcoin has remained range bound around this $96,000 area for the last 3 months, just about. It's the middle of February, just about to be February 14th. And the current sentiment in the market really does lean towards the idea that the market is potentially topped out. There's not going to be an altcoin season. And for me personally, I love when the market gets to this place because everyone gets very complacent and really lets their guard down. And in my opinion, I do think that we're going to see a little bit of downside here on Bitcoin, potentially the rest of the market, and then a sizable move higher. Now, the line in the sand, in my opinion, is sitting right here just below the current price action at about $86,000. Now, once again, I would treat this as, an area, not necessarily an exact level, right? And this $86,000 area is very interesting to me because of three reasons. One, it is the average of price of last quarter, which makes this a highly likely area to revisit in the form of a mean reversion play. Very simple, very similar to how we would view a 200-day moving average, a 50-day moving average. This is a 90-day moving average, if you look at it, that doesn't move. Now, that's reason one why 86,000 is very interesting to me, where I could see the price action of Bitcoin coming down to this region. I'd be looking for strength here, of course, to anticipate maybe a bounce from this level. And if we do get that, I do foresee a run back to new all-time highs and potentially then some. Now, the second reason why I have my attention here on the $86,000 area as well is when we came up on inauguration day right here, we put in what's known as a bearish reversal pattern known as the shark, which essentially you come down and you take the lows. Right here is what we did there, and you come right back up and you end up taking the highs up here. Of course, getting everyone very fearful at the lows, very excited at the highs, only to wipe out both sides. And this specific pattern, which, basically obeys by a certain set of rules as far as the, ratios would go. It's a sequence of Fibonacci. It has a set list of targets. And these are derived off of Fibonacci retracements here. This is the first target, which is the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, which we actually came down to over here on the DeepSeek news, I guess you could say. Got a little push higher. There's no gold pocket support on this pattern here. So as soon as you lose that 0.5, it's usually straight to the 886. Then you get a little bit of a bounce generally. Now, this could be the low, don't get me wrong. This is 2 out of the 3 major targets of this pattern met. But overall, as long as we're holding below the 0.5, which is $99,500 on Bitcoin, I anticipate the final target of this pattern to be met, which is the 113 extension. And it sits right here at about $86,000 as well. So that's 2 areas that line up in this region down here for Bitcoin to come down to. Now, the third reason why I'm eyeballing this $86,000 area is very similar to what we saw down here at 48K. I point out a lot of times when we have these really strong impulse moves, generally when you start to get a retracement, most traders and analysts are going to look to areas such as the golden pocket, which is a Fibonacci retracement area of 61.8 to 65%, or you'll hear, the 786 retracement area, so on and so forth. But a lot of times when you have a very strong impulse move, either up or down, the price will retrace to what is the 38.2% level, so the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, and then you'll seek continuation at that point, right? So just taking a macro look here, right? And you'll always notice that on my gold pocket setup, I always have the 382 pretty much pulled up too to get a good idea. And that's exactly what we did here, right? So from the overall low up to that $74,000 high last year, we slowly retraced to the 0.382, and then we got the continuation higher. Now, all along the way, we had very similar things occur, right? Here was a 0.382 retracement and then continuation, 0.382 retrace continuation, 0.382 retrace then continuation, macro 0.382 retrace and then continuation. And now if we take a look at our current low, our swing low from that $48,000 area, and we drag it all the way up to that current high, 0.382 come in, and it is right there at that $86,000 area as well. So while there's no guarantee that this is an area we're just going to come down to and get this huge bounce off of, this is, in my opinion, a huge level at the moment that should not be overlooked. I know that many will, if we start to come down a little bit lower, start losing 90K, many will start targeting the CME gap at 77,000. Personally, I'm not really interested in that level. If we start losing these regions, I think we'd probably get a deeper correction, and we'll be looking to see if we hold this area as support. And if so, I think that this is where we could see a really nice, leg up towards 120 to $140,000 Bitcoin.